Let me start with a simple question. Why does saving money feel so hard? Even when you're reworking every month? Why do so many people live paycheck to paycheck? No matter how much they earn. This video isn't about getting rich overnight. And it's not about secret investment tricks. It's about discipline, daily choices, and how small decisions shape your financial future. Before we go any further, let me be clear. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an investment expert. And this is not financial advice. I'm just someone who's learning as I go. I share what life has taught me. What I've learned through reading, through research, and through real-world experience. Some lessons came from mistakes. Others came from discipline. My goal is simple. To help you think differently about money, to question habits that keep you stuck, and to show that saving is possible, even on a tight salary. In this video, we'll talk about why saving feels impossible, why discipline matters more than income, how living for appearances keeps people broke, and how to start saving, step by step, even when money feels tight. And by the end, we'll tie it all together with the most important idea of all. Discipline isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily one. So if you're tired of the stress, tired of the pressure, and ready to take control, stay with me. This might change how you see money forever. Chapter 1: Why Saving Feels Impossible, and How to Start Anyway. Let's be honest. Saving money feels harder than ever. The cost of living keeps rising. Interest rates are high. Debt levels are at record highs. For many people, just covering small emergencies is already a struggle. So saving for long-term goals, that can feel almost impossible. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. We're living in a perfect storm. Everyday bills are harder to pay. And goals like an emergency fund or a down payment on a home feel very far away. Now, let's clear up a common myth. Many people believe they need to earn more money before they can start saving. But waiting for the perfect financial moment often means never starting at all. The real secret is simple. Build the habit now. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. And over time, saving starts to feel easier. More natural. Almost automatic. So, where does the money go? Usually, it's not one big expense. It's the small ones. Daily takeout coffee. Subscriptions you don't really use. Impulse buys online. They seem harmless. But together, they add up. And slowly, they drain the money you could have been saving. To move forward, everything starts with mindset. If you believe saving is too hard, or that you're simply bad with money, those thoughts can become reality. But when you start seeing money as a tool, not as a source of stress, your habits begin to change. And so do your results. That's where one simple but powerful tool comes in. Your budget. Now, let's be honest again. The word budget doesn't excite anyone. But think of it this way. A budget is your financial game plan. It's not about restriction. It's about intention. It gives every dollar a job. And it helps your spending reflect what truly matters to you. Here's the key rule. Treat your savings like a fixed expense. Non-negotiable. Just like a bill you pay every month. Except this one. You pay it to yourself. Create a realistic monthly budget. Include a specific category for savings. Just like rent, utilities, or groceries. Use a budgeting tool if needed. Track every dollar coming in. And every dollar going out. This clarity helps you see how much you can actually save. And where small adjustments can make a big difference. Now let's break down why saving feels so difficult today. There are three main reasons. First, high expenses versus income. When essentials like rent, groceries, and utilities eat up most of your paycheck, there's simply not much left. This often comes from a high cost of living, lifestyle inflation, and fixed expenses that take up too much space in your budget. Then come the surprises. Unexpected bills, sudden price increases, and just like that, saving feels impossible. Second, no structured budget. Many people don't struggle because they earn too little. They struggle because they don't have a clear plan. A budget isn't a cage. It's a map. It shows you where your money is going, helps you set priorities, and protects you from unnecessary debt. When you review it regularly, you spot problems early, and you discover hidden opportunities to save. Third, no emergency fund. This is your financial safety net. It protects you from car repairs, medical bills, or a sudden job loss. Without it, one emergency can erase months of progress and push you straight into high-interest debt. That's why this fund comes first. Start small. Be consistent. Over time, build a cushion equal to 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. Once it's in place, your other savings goals are safer, and your stress levels drop dramatically. Now, you might be thinking, I'll start saving when I get that promotion. But ask yourself this. Has your income ever increased before? And if so, did your expenses stay the same? For most people, the answer is no. This "I'll start later" mindset is one of the biggest reasons people never start at all. Saving isn't just about money. It's about control, confidence, and intention. One small step at a time. And it all begins with a single decision. To start. Before you feel fully ready. Chapter 2, Discipline is not sacrifice, it's priority. We often hear that we become what we do repeatedly. And that's especially true when it comes to money. In the long run, it's not your IQ that determines financial success. It's your mindset. And your daily habits. Warren Buffett said it best. We don't have to be smarter than the rest. We just have to be more disciplined. Yet many people see saving as punishment, as deprivation, or as a temporary phase to survive until they start earning more. This way of thinking is dangerous. And it explains why so many people never reach their goals. Behavioral finance is very clear on this. Building wealth has less to do with income level, and much more to do with everyday financial behavior. Saving doesn't mean cutting out all joy. It means building systems that protect your future from your present impulses. So what does discipline look like in real life? Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most of the time, you don't need to pay full price. Retail pricing is built around urgency, not real value. Studies show that people who practice patience, who delay purchases, and wait for discounts, save a significant amount over time, without giving up what they actually need. In this sense, patience becomes a financial asset. Another major trap is debt. Taking on debt for things that lose value quickly. Cars, electronics, lifestyle upgrades. Means using future income to pay for past consumption. Before the money even reaches your account, it's already spoken for. And that quietly kills your ability to save. Now let's talk about buying secondhand. This isn't a downgrade. It's a smart reallocation of capital. The biggest drop in value happens right after something is purchased. When someone else absorbs that initial loss, you keep your capital for things that move you closer to your goals. Function doesn't care. If you were the first owner. Money also leaks out. When we outsource things, we could reasonably learn to do ourselves. Basic home maintenance. Simple digital skills. Investing time to learn. Saves money in the short term. And builds powerful financial resilience over time. Your environment matters too. Walking into a mall. Or opening a shopping app. Without a list. Is an act of self-sabotage. A list creates structure. In a space designed for distraction. It turns your spending from reactive into intentional. And intention is non-negotiable. If you want to save consistently. This connects directly to emotional spending. Every unplanned purchase doesn't just affect this month's balance. It competes with your long-term goals. Your children's education. Seed money for a business. Security in retirement. Saving is, every time, choosing your future over short-term comfort. And don't ignore efficiency tools. Discounts, coupons, and cashback are not signs of desperation. They're signs of intelligence. Used consistently, they increase your savings rate without lowering your quality of life. In many cases, time spent optimizing costs delivers a better return than a small raise in income. All of this leads to one core principle. A paycheck without a plan is already spent. Research is clear. People who allocate their income proactively, saving first and spending second, reach far greater financial stability than those who try to save whatever is left. Intentional allocation beats willpower every single time. This principle applies strongly to credit cards. Used correctly, they're tools for convenience and cash flow management. Used carelessly, they become high-interest traps. Here's a simple rule. If you can't pay the full balance at the end of the month, you can't afford the item. Finally, don't dismiss cheaper or free alternatives because of pride or inertia. Blind brand loyalty is an emotional decision, not a rational one. Markets reward people who question costs and are willing to switch. Very often, convenience is just expensive inertia. Putting all of this into practice requires preparation and strong discipline. It means trading small, immediate wins for much bigger wins later. It may require learning to say no and having uncomfortable conversations when your group spending habits don't match your plan. If impulse spending controls you, create a mandatory waiting period. 24 hours. Or even a full week. Before any non-essential purchase. That simple pause breaks compulsion. Small actions help too. Unsubscribe from promotional emails. Delete shopping apps from your phone. These changes can be real turning points. At the end of the day, wealth is built through small, consistent decisions. Budgeting. Saving first. Questioning every purchase. And keeping lifestyle inflation under control. This kind of discipline is not sacrifice. It's the clearest expression of your true priorities. Chapter 3: The Real Enemy, Living for Appearances. We live in an age where social media, influencers, and targeted advertising rule everything. The pressure to look like you're living a perfect life has never been stronger. But this constant chase for appearances, from compulsive spending to hiding debt, comes at a serious cost. It affects your mental health, your relationships, And, of course, your long-term financial stability. In financial planning, the biggest enemies are rarely market volatility or inflation. The most powerful enemy is often ourselves and the unconscious money habits we repeat every single day. The first, and most dangerous, of these habits is comparison spending. It's deeply human. We constantly measure our worth, our success, and our status by comparing ourselves to others. We see a coworker's new car, a friend's luxury vacation on social media, and instantly, we tell ourselves a story. They must be rich. They must be happy. They must be doing better than us. But the truth is, we have no idea what's behind that image. That vacation in Italy might be funded by debt, by stress, by financial instability. So why do we do this? Part of it is primitive. We're wired to look for reference points, to evaluate ourselves. But in the modern financial world, this instinct, especially upward comparison, creates a dangerous spiral. More spending, less saving, and growing financial pressure. Resisting this temptation starts with one thing: clear, deeply personal financial goals. We're all different. Different incomes, different expenses, different risk tolerance. When you blindly copy how others spend, you abandon your own path. Defining your goals, financial independence, buying a home, or a peaceful retirement, gives you a compass. It keeps you focused on your journey, not someone else's highlight reel. And if you need help clarifying those goals, professional guidance can make a real difference. A good financial planner doesn't just help set direction. They help keep you accountable to your goals. Another critical concept is lifestyle inflation. As your income grows, the temptation to spend more grows with it. But saving part of every increase is one of the fastest ways to accelerate long-term progress. The balance is simple. Save first. Then adjust your lifestyle with what remains, not the other way around. And don't underestimate gratitude. One of the most effective ways to break the comparison trap is to consciously appreciate what you already have, instead of only comparing upward to those who seem to have more. Remember that many have less. This shift in perspective makes it much easier to stay focused on your own goals. So why do we feel such a strong need to keep up appearances? At its core, it's about validation. In the past, we compared ourselves to our neighbors. Today, status signals come through screens, material goods, and exotic lifestyles shared online. This cycle is driven by what sociologists call conspicuous consumption. Buying things to display wealth and status. Marketing fuels it even more. Limited time offers, artificial scarcity, urgency by design. All of it normalizes spending beyond our means. And the cost is enormous. Studies show that more than 1/3 of people change their spending habits based on what they see on social media. When you consistently spend to maintain a facade, financial trouble is almost inevitable. Many turn to loans or new credit cards to support that lifestyle, and that leads to a debt spiral that destroys the very freedom they were trying to project. The damage isn't only financial. It's mental. Social comparison online is a game you can never win. It often leads to anxiety, depression, and a deep sense of inadequacy. Living above your means also creates fear. The fear of being found out. That shame keeps many people from asking for help. In fact, people with non-mortgage debt are 3 times more likely to suffer from depression and anxiety. Breaking free requires a mindset shift and deliberate action. Here's where to start. First, reduce social media exposure. If certain platforms or accounts trigger comparison and spending urges, create distance. Limit your time. Unfollow accounts that make you feel worse. Refocus on your real life and real goals. Second, build a realistic budget. This is the foundation of control. Compare your income to your expenses. Separate essentials, rent, utilities, food, from non-essentials, like entertainment and impulse purchases. Track your spending for a few months. Patterns will appear, and opportunities to cut back will become clear. Third, get out of debt. If overspending led to debt, take control with a plan. 2 popular approaches work well. The snowball method. Pay off smaller balances first to build momentum. Or the avalanche method. Pay off high-interest debt first to save more over time. Choose the one that fits your personality and stay consistent. Fourth, create your financial North Star. Once impulse spending is under control, redirect that money toward goals that truly motivate you. An emergency fund, a meaningful trip, education or skills, spending in alignment with your values isn't a bad thing. It's often the strongest motivation to maintain healthy money habits for life. Remember this. Breaking free from appearances is not about deprivation. It's about prioritization. It's about trading the temporary approval of strangers online for lasting peace of mind and real financial freedom. And that may be one of the most powerful decisions you ever make for yourself and for your future. Chapter 4: How to Start Saving on a Tight Salary. Simple steps. If you live on a paycheck, you know that end-of-month feeling. That moment when the money runs out before the month does. For many people, this is normal. But it's also a clear warning sign. Even with a decent income, if you can't save, you're financially vulnerable. Here's the truth. Saving is the first and most important step to building wealth. It allows you to invest, to reach life goals, and to protect your family. More than anything, saving buys peace of mind. And the good news is this. With the right strategies, anyone can learn to save consistently. Even starting small. Everything begins with one core principle. You can't control what you don't track. The first and most powerful action you can take is to track your money closely. Start by separating your expenses. Fixed expenses, rent or mortgage, variable expenses. Then split the variables again. Essentials: electricity, transportation, food. And non-essentials: eating out, impulse buys, and used services. This simple exercise is eye-opening. Speaking of services, subscriptions are one of the quietest budget leaks. Look at your bank statements. Are you paying for apps, streaming platforms, or memberships you barely use? Canceling just 1 or 2 can free up money every single month. Money that can be redirected automatically into savings. Once you have clarity, it's time to build a realistic monthly budget. Base it on your income and your fixed expenses. Set clear limits for variable spending. But here's the safest rule. Save first. The moment your paycheck arrives, move a set amount into a separate savings account. Treat it like the most important bill you pay, because it's the one you pay to yourself. To make this even easier, automate the process and consider using a time deposit or locked savings account. It offers predictable returns, and the locked structure helps you resist the urge to spend. To stay motivated, give your savings a clear purpose. An emergency fund with 3 to 6 months of expenses. A down payment for a home. Your children's education. A strong why makes the effort meaningful. It also helps you choose the right savings or investment account. One powerful technique is to separate your money by goal. One account for monthly expenses. One for emergencies. One for specific goals, like travel. This physical separation prevents confusion and accidental spending. Once you've built a disciplined savings base, the next step is investing. You don't need to be an expert. The goal is to start small and build gradually. Low-cost options, like investment funds or retirement savings plans, are a solid place to begin. Remember this. Investing is what makes your money work for you. In your daily life, there's still room to optimize. When shopping online, be intentional. Compare prices. Use browser tools that alert you to discounts. Take advantage of bank promotions and cashback. Every dollar saved is a dollar redirected toward your goals. Finally, look at your income. There may be ways to increase it where you already work. Ask about growth opportunities, extra shifts, additional responsibilities. If you work part-time, look for more hours. And when your income increases, even slightly, send that extra money to savings first. Avoid lifestyle inflation. The path forward is simple. Focus on building unshakable financial discipline. Don't worry if the amount you save today feels small. Consistency turns small amounts into meaningful wealth. With commitment and these simple steps, you can break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle and build a strong, secure financial future. Every long journey begins with a first step. So the question is, what will yours be? If this chapter made you see your money differently, pause for a moment. Real change doesn't happen all at once. It happens one decision at a time. If this video is helping you, take a second to like it. It tells YouTube this content matters. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Here, we focus on discipline, long-term thinking, and real financial independence, without hype or shortcuts. Now, in the final chapter, Chapter 5, we'll talk about something crucial. How to protect your savings. How to build a true emergency fund. And how to make sure inflation doesn't slowly erase your progress. This is where everything comes together. So stay with me. The final chapter starts now. Chapter 5, Discipline is a daily decision, not a one-time choice. True wealth and financial independence are not built by luck, and not by an exceptional salary. They are built on something far more powerful. And far more accessible. Financial self-discipline. Not a grand idea. Not a dramatic moment. But the daily practice of making smart money decisions. Again. And again. Mastering this discipline means changing your relationship with money. From reactive and emotional to intentional and strategic. And this journey doesn't start in your bank account. It starts in your mind. Because money is never just about numbers. Every decision you make to save, to spend, or to invest is shaped by your beliefs, your attitudes, and your emotions. As Robert Kiyosaki said, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And to keep money, you first need to understand why it slips away. That starts with your deepest beliefs about money. Those beliefs were shaped early by family, culture, and experience. Did you grow up in a home where saving was normal, or where money was a constant source of stress? Do you live in a society that values frugality, or one that celebrates consumption and status? These influences shape everything. Whether you see money as scarce or abundant, whether spending equals happiness, or whether saving feels uncomfortable or even wrong. Identifying these beliefs and challenging the limiting ones is the first step toward real financial freedom. This matters because it leads us to the biggest financial saboteur of all: emotional spending. How many times have you bought something to feel better after a bad day, to celebrate a win, or simply to escape boredom? It's common. And it's human. But research shows that stress, anxiety, and the need for validation push us toward impulsive decisions that damage long-term goals. The antidote has two parts. First, recognize your emotional triggers. Second, and more important, build a solid financial plan and commit to it, especially during emotional highs and lows. Discipline is what protects your future from your present feelings. This brings us to one of the most powerful ideas in financial psychology: delayed gratification. The ability to give up a small reward now for a much bigger reward later. You may remember the famous Stanford marshmallow test. Children who learned to wait went on to have better outcomes in life, academically, socially, and financially. In real life, this means skipping the new gadget to strengthen your emergency fund. It means investing for retirement instead of taking a luxury trip. To train this muscle, start small, set clear goals, break them into tiny steps. Celebrate every small win, resisting an impulse buy, hitting a monthly savings target, while keeping the bigger picture in mind. This is how unbreakable money habits are built. Not through big gestures, but through small, consistent actions. Discipline isn't a moment. It's a routine. It can start with something simple: tracking every expense for 1 week, or automating just 5% of your paycheck into savings on payday. By itself, it feels insignificant. Over time, it becomes powerful. Repeated over months and years, it creates a snowball effect that forms the foundation of your future. Automation may be the most transformative habit of all, because it removes the need to rely on willpower every month. And this is where accountability becomes your ally. Discipline grows when there is responsibility. When you track your spending, you answer to yourself. When you share a goal with a partner or a friend, You create support and external reinforcement. Accountability turns discipline from an abstract idea into a visible, measurable behavior. In the end, mastering financial discipline is really about mastering the psychology of money. It's an inner journey of self-awareness, emotional control, and intentional patience. Not a destination, but a daily practice. In a world that grows more complex every day, this mental clarity becomes your greatest advantage. Aligning your mindset with your goals is not just about growing your bank balance. It's about building a life of real freedom and lasting peace of mind. And remember the words of Benjamin Franklin: an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. By investing in understanding yourself and building discipline from within, you're making the highest return investment of all. An investment in your future. Discipline creates long-term freedom. If there's one thing to remember from this video, it's this: discipline changes everything. Not overnight. Not in one big moment. But through small decisions. Made daily. Repeated consistently. Saving money isn't about how much you earn. It's about how you think. And how you choose. When you stop living for appearances. When you give your money a purpose. And when you commit to discipline. Even on a tight salary. You take back control. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress. One better choice today. Another tomorrow. Over time, those choices compound. Just like money does. If this video helped you, do me a small favor. Like the video. It helps more than you think. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content about discipline, long-term thinking, and real financial independence. And I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. What's one habit you're going to change starting today? This channel isn't about hype. It's about clarity and building a future you don't need to escape from. Thanks for watching. Take care. Stay disciplined. And I'll see you in the next video.